we do have to take our hats off to Rudy and Elizabeth, and they've been on, and William Chase. I think that's Bill. Been on every single one of these training sessions, and this is the very last one. So I think Rudy, Bill, and Elizabeth, thank you so much for all you've done. Yeah, so we can give them a hand. And some of you probably don't realize, but the Zoom session for vocational service, the presenter backed out just a couple hours before the Zoom session was to start. And Rudy in 30 minutes came up with the vocational service session to present on Zoom. So I think that's unbelievable. And I also want to thank Rudy too for putting the slides together for this particular session. So
kudos, Rudy.
Big hand to Rudy.
Kudos, Rudy. Kudos, kudos.
Thanks, Rich.
Possible.
Yeah, so it's my opinion that the AG role is one of the most important ones in the whole district. 13 or 14 years ago, I was an AG for 2 years and had no idea what to do. So hopefully this will clarify the duties and responsibilities a little bit better than what we had some years in the past. So about 10 years ago or so, the district spent half a day doing a strength, weakness, opportunity, threat analysis for district activities. And the end result was the biggest weakness in the district is communication. And just about every year that's held true. So the AG's responsibility is really to communicate from the district to the clubs, and also as just as important from the clubs to the district, so that we could start identifying some of the weaknesses in the clubs, so that we could kind of guide the clubs to where the areas that they may need to increase their strength, where to find some answers. So one of the things we're going to do today is kind of give you an idea of where to find some of the answers that might help the clubs. So it's not an easy task being an AG. You have to be committed and follow your responsibilities to make your role effective. So I know Don Casper, I'm glad our district governor nominee is in as an AG, because he's going to learn a lot about clubs. And also he'll be kind of one step ahead of most incoming district governors as far as where to find information. And of course, our wonderful district governor-elect, Dan Goodrich, is a fountainhead of information. So he's our computer guru, kind of. Try to find answers on your own without calling Dan too often. Dan has a full-time job along with being his district governor-elect. So Dan, hopefully you won't get too many calls, but hopefully they'll only call you as the last resort after they've done their research on their own. So Barry, would you like to say a word or two about your feeling of the AG role?
Yeah, thank you, Rich. Rudy, Rich, Bill, you guys done a fantastic job, and thank you again. I can never show you the gratitude that you deserve. Thank you so much. AGs, thank you guys for stepping up and taking the job. I know some of you guys are in here for the long haul. Most of you are carrying over to next year, to Dan's year. And I've been trying to keep you guys posted on the meetings. Most of them are coming in Zoom with the clubs, and I'm throwing them out as fast as I get them. And I apologize for sometimes you don't get them till a few hours before the meeting, because that's when I'm getting them. So check your schedule. I've been trying to copy you guys on all the correspondence going back and forth with the clubs. The nice thing, I think I've done 14 meetings already, and I've had some of you guys with me. And anyways, I appreciate all your hard work. I appreciate your dedication, and I look forward to having a good year and enjoying everybody's company. We will be having, four AG meetings. We're scheduled to be in person at this point at Pinnacle Peaks as we get closer to that date and we find out what the situation is as far as meeting in person and that type of stuff, we'll adjust it. Don't worry. Butch and I will be talking about this, and we'll adjust it. Obviously, I would like to see us meet in person, but I also understand not everybody's comfortable with it yet. So we'll figure it out and work our way through that. Again, thank you guys so much for your for stepping up and filling in these roles.
I'm going to say the AG role is so important that you'll be receiving a stipend, correct, Barry?
Yeah, we normally have a quarterly stipend for fuel, and that will be suspended this first quarter, obviously, because nobody's going anywhere. But we'll keep you guys posted on that.
Good.
So
thank you for the update on that. So the AG role is so important. The only other people that get a stipend in the district is the district administrator, Richard Lemire, and the AV team, whatever they're called upon. And that saves a lot of money with our in-house AV team instead of farming it out to a private contractor. Much cheaper. So we appreciate Barry's past efforts on putting that AV team together, and hopefully one of these years we're going to be able to use it again.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay, so Rudy, can we have our first slide? Okay, this is the last printed assistant governor manual. You notice 2017 to 2020. This particular manual was, I think, over 60 pages. 3 years prior to that, their manual was over 100 pages. So you see the direction of training in Rotary is changing a little bit. So not only did they pare down their printed manual, but they have no manual now. So the emphasis in training is away from printed materials and going to the Rotary Learning Center. So when you go to the Rotary Learning Center, I think I sent this assistant governor as an attachment, or Butch sent it to you to print out. So it went from 60 pages to 1 page, and says the assistant governor, you are the connection between your clubs and the district. The relationship you build with club leaders make Rotary stronger. So that's kind of the mantra that Ricardo has been beating into us. We want to make our club stronger. So we want to go from good to great. So that's kind of the role of a district assistant governor, to help the clubs achieve that. Also on this sheet of paper that you should have, it has what you do. So that enumerates many of the duties that we'll have on these slides that will be coming up. One is the promote the best practices of being a vibrant club. So I noticed that Barry has a session on a vibrant club coming up. We'll talk about that a little bit. So this is very important. If the club isn't vibrant, if the club is not attractive, it's not going to gain in membership or even retain the members that they have. Also talked a little bit about Rotary Club Central. So all the AGs have to be intimately familiar with Rotary Club Central. And it also has a little section on how to prepare. It says take courses for assistant governors in the Learning Center. So the Learning Center actually has a list of courses
Washing machine.
for the AGs to take, and this should have been part of your little packet that Butch sent out. So some of the courses are entitled Get Ready, Assistant Governor, Working with Your District Team, Supporting Your Clubs, Maximizing Governor Visits, and Rotary Club Central Resources. So those are kind of the important ones on the list. So again, the big emphasis on training is more towards the Learning Center on the RI website, not necessarily in a bunch of printed manuals. Okay, can we have the next one? One thing that Butch also sent was the course catalog for the Rotary Learning Center. So you find out what the weaknesses are, what the clubs have, and then you could kind of hint to them where they might be able to find some help on the Rotary Learning Center. There's about 10 pages of courses here, and they're all pertinent to growing clubs, training avenue of service chairs, designed for increasing membership, a little bit about Rotary basics for new members. So again, the more the member is going to learn about Rotary, the more hopefully they're going to stay in the club. So the effort of getting a new members is much greater than the effort of retaining past members. So make sure you put some of your effort into retaining the past members. So everybody should have a copy of the Rotary Learning Center catalog provided by Rudy, by the way. Okay. So Assistant Governor job description. So this is one you should already have. Assistant Governor is representative of the district governor. So make sure that you follow what the district governor wants you to do as far as goals are concerned. And you can find the goals for this year in the district directory. Act as a liaison between the governor, district staff, and club. The AG will assist in preparing president-elects for their year. Okay, so that'll be coming up. This year it's already done. Includes free pets, district assembly. So we don't know if they're going to have a virtual pets or not. So that's still to be decided. And then hopefully by next spring, district assembly will be a face-to-face meeting. So once the Rotary year starts, which it has, the AGs will help their clubs achieve their goal, club goal, and district goal. So the AGs are the cheerleaders of the district. So whenever you're visiting a club, go around and introduce yourself to the club members when we do have a face-to-face meeting. I think it would be a good idea too for the AGs to have their clubs that they're overseeing, put them on their Zoom list so that the club will have you on your Zoom list for when they have their Zoom meeting so you could join them. I think this is a very easy way of doing it. Okay, next slide. Okay, Assistant Governor will promote the district goals and the Rotary International thing. So do we know what the Rotary International theme is? Do I hear an answer?
Rotary opens opportunities.
Oh, very good, Dan. What's the international thing for next year?
Won't know until International Assembly.
Very good. All right, this guy's up to speed. Good. And again, the district goals in the district directory. So who doesn't have a district directory? Did Nyron raise his hand? Okay, that's only one. Okay, Nyron, I got a good thing for you. You could go on to our DACDB member area. Okay, hit district files. Okay, first hit district tab, and that'll bring up a bunch of those little square icons. And one of them says district files new. And then you hit the secure, and then the file names will come up, and you'll find the district directory online there. So that'll be the most up-to-date district directory is the one that's online. So Richard Rivera is going to keep that current. Is that okay, Nyron? All right, thank you. Also, anybody that might have any questions on the district policy manual, you can find that on the member area of Visit Rotary. Go to district documents, And there should be a little box there in district documents. You hit that and it'll bring up the latest district policy manual. So anybody that has any questions on district policy, that's where you find that. You okay on that? Good. Okay, so international thing, this year we know, next year we don't. Polio Plus and donations to the Rotary Foundation. So see if you could help your clubs with their goals for that. So where would you find the club's goals?
Rotary Club Central.
Okay, very good. Mary raised her hand. She's on mute, so that's good Zoom practice, Mary. Yeah, so Rotary Club Central, okay? Rotary Club Central is going to be very important for your job. Promote the Foundation Gala. Barry, would you like to say a couple words on the Foundation Gala?
Yeah, it's still scheduled for November 7th, I believe it is. And the Saturday night, the Mission Inn is currently their catering department is technically closed. They're not doing any events. I have talked to them. They're down to one employee, just the manager. So we're keeping our eye on it. Our feelings are that we're probably going to get reduced in the capacity probably to 100 when the time comes. So we've got some ideas on how we might be able to get more people involved in it. So it's going to be Black Tie Roaring 20s theme. The tickets will probably, if we're reduced to 100, we'll probably first go out to the club presidents. And then once we've gone through there, then we'll fill the room accordingly. We are talking about possibly doing it on Zoom also. The cost of a ticket right now is $150. If we put it on Zoom, it's a fundraiser. We're probably going to ask for $50 because the meal is $100. So we're going to probably ask for $50 to come in on Zoom and remind everybody it is a fundraiser. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to have a couple items that we're going to live auction on it. Currently right now, Steve Wallace is our speaker. And it'll be a nice evening. I will tell you that I will be auctioning off the spot to walk in the Rose Parade that the district has for this year, which will carry over to next year. So anybody who's heard part of my governor presentation knows what's going on. We're going to have the spot is going to be auctioned off, and I would imagine it's going to sell for between $2,000 and $3,000. I've already got a $1,000 bid from Fontana for that spot, and the individuals, I'm promoting it to the clubs, telling them what a great opportunity for a club to buy it and award it to somebody, whether they're club president or somebody special in their club. It'll be an excellent opportunity. And I will tell you, if we get over $3,500 for it, I'm planning on giving the money to the foundation or to the Rose Parade committee. That'll move us up to a seat on the float itself. That'll put us at $10,000. So for $3,500, the club can buy that spot and put a rider on the float. And it'll be obviously the year after. So that's some of the things we're talking about. But right now, our biggest concern is that we're going to be able to have it, and it'll probably be reduced to approximately 100, and then we're going to go from there. So I'll keep you guys posted.
Yeah.
Hey, Barry,
Yes.
can you do an online auction ahead of time to raise additional funds with things that are donated?
Yeah, I'm going to talk with the committee about that and see how they want to do it. But yes, we'll probably have, I'm not so sure if we'll have a, like a silent auction type setup. It'll be a live auction. We'll probably limit it to no more than a dozen items that we'll do online and through Zoom as the evening progresses.
Okay.
Yeah, can you say a word about the matching for the Polio Plus?
Oh, yeah.
Foundation
Okay.
At the foundation gala?
Right. So what I've been telling the clubs is that with the great match with their DDF, I'm not asking clubs to give us cash. I'm asking clubs to use their DDF, and if they can't find a project to deal with it, to give it. I'm asking them to please give it to polio. If you give it to polio, it's going to get matched by the World Fund, dollar for dollar, and then Bill Gates is going to match it 2-to-1. I have about I have some DDF available through the district, and I'm offering clubs, if you give me money at the foundation gala for polio, I'll use my DDF until it's expired to match you. So if you give me $1,000, I'll give you $1,000. The World Fund will match that for $2,000. So that's 4. Bill Gates will match it 2-to-1. I believe that's a $12,000 total. So I have, I'm offering that for the foundation gala, but I want the DDF. My goal is for our district to spend their DDF this year, not carry over. Sorry, Dan, I'm trying to get it spent.
Thank
No
you,
worries,
Gary.
I'll be throwing some grants out there to spend it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so don't be afraid to break in if you have any questions. This is designed to be more interactive than lecturing, and I've been talking too much, so.
I have a question, Rich.
Sure.
If you don't mind. This is actually for Barry in the Rose Parade Committee, because typically the district gives like $6,500 and it gives a walker. So if you're auctioning off your spot, does that mean that District 5330 will have 2 in the Rose Parade in my year?
Yes, they absolutely will. And if I can get $3,500 for that spot, we'll have a walker and a rider.
Awesome.
Or else we're going to have 2 walkers.
No motorcycles, though.
No. No.
Okay. We'll continue. President's midterm review. Okay, that's usually held around the same time as pre-pets for the president-elects, but I don't know. In face-to-face or Zoom, that'll be determined later.
Dan, I think Dan and I have a date for that in January, is it not, Dan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyhow, the overall game plan is to really encourage your presidents to go to that midterm review. Historically, that has not been too well attended, but to see if we could get the attendance up for the presidents to join in on the midterm review. That's kind of a time to refocus on the last 5 or 6 months of the Rotary year, refocus on your goals and get all excited again. So in January, your term
16th.
is not over, term is
January.
over.
January 16th, Rich.
Okay, thanks. Okay, then the district conference, again, that's going to be a cruise, so there's more to talk about on that. And Barry said the application for the district conference is on the last page of the district directory. So again, you get that online, or you might actually have a hard copy in your hand. I do want to congratulate Barry on getting the district directory printed in time to distribute to the district assembly, which hasn't been done for a couple years. So he did a good job doing that, but then unfortunately, no face-to-face district assembly. So anyhow, thank you, Barry, because that was a good sign of leadership to get the clubs to declare what their officers and club staff will be, so that it could be printed in the directory.
Rich, let me jump in there. The directory, I have a lot of copies of it here. I distributed a bunch at my house when we had the get-together here. And every time I've gone out, I'm taking directories with me. Now, we have online as the easiest one, but I will be carrying directories. So anytime we meet together, I will give you guys directories to distribute to your clubs. I do not want to mail them. It's too expensive to mail those things. I've spent a lot of money mailing out pins and shirts and name tags and that. So the directories, I want to get them out there because we've had them printed, but I don't want to add the cost of mailing those things to people.
Good. Thank you.
Why don't you, hey Barry, why don't you have the AGs collect them to distribute to their clubs?
Yeah, as I see you guys, I will give them to you. So our meetings, our face-to-face meetings, that's also important, but I'm not going to have a meeting face-to-face if it's going to be uncomfortable and if
Okay.
can't do it. Yeah.
Barry, if you would, when you meet anybody from a group, like in Palm Springs, you got Palm Springs, Sunup, Cathedral City, Desert Hot Springs. If you can meet somebody and you'd give the books to them, I'd be glad in my area to distribute them to everybody or get them to people.
Yeah, I don't have any club visits scheduled in person out there, but I will tell you, I will be out there at some point or another, and I'll drag these with me, and we'll try to catch up with everybody if we don't get a chance to distribute them during the AG dinner meeting. So
Okay.
I'll be carrying them and getting them out there to you guys as soon as we can see each other.
Well, I'll look and see where you're going and when, and maybe I can meet you someplace and pick them up, because I think they're extremely important to the clubs. Yes, it's online, but having that book is, I always liked that. So if you can tell us where you're going to be, I might come over and pick them up wherever you're at.
Okay. I think we'll, yeah, I'm going to make a trip out there for something. I know that. Even if it's just for dinner somewhere, but I'll keep you guys posted.
Thank you. Okay, promote district membership workshop and foundation workshops, and guess what? We've already had that. If your club has a weakness or wants to know more about membership and the foundation, the good news is Rudy recorded all those district assembly sessions for those two topics. You could go to YouTube, search District 5330 and videos. So you'll see the videos for the membership and foundation workshops that were given at the district assembly via Zoom. So that's another good source of information for your clubs that happen to be weak in those areas. Also, something new this year is the District Vibrant Club Workshop, and that's going to be October the 24th. So Vibrant Clubs, again, is one of the goals of Rotary International that could be directly encouraged by the AG. So District Vibrant Club Foundation Workshop, and that will probably be on Zoom, I would imagine. So do you know anything about that yet, Barry, as far as Zoom or in person?
Right now it's still being planned in person. The committee has been meeting. I think Don's in charge of that. Don, you want to bring us up to date where you guys are at on that?
Yeah, we're having our next meeting this coming Monday, working on the plans. But in our last meeting, we decided that this is important enough that it needs to be in person. So right now we have a date of October 24th. If things do not improve, we will not hold it virtually, but we will postpone it until after the new year because we want to present the material in person.
Okay, very good.
Thank you, Don.
Thank you, Don. But we're getting all up-to-date stuff here. I also want to mention too, on YouTube is Rudy's staff training session that addresses customer service skills. So again, as an AG, your customers are the clubs. So some of the things that Rudy mentioned in that particular segment on customer service skills are what club goals can the AGs help support. He also mentioned you have to have some empathy. AGs have to have a willingness to learn too, so that they could pass along ideas for club avenue of service, club members, club officers to be able to learn via the Learning Center. Also the ability to use positive language. So this is very important. Some of the clubs, you'll probably want to beat them down a notch or two, but don't do that. Okay, we got to encourage them to be better. They might be good. We want them to be the best. So you might have a lot of work to do on some of the clubs and not so much on other clubs. So the club service goals are important to know what they are, and your ability to track those goals to see if they're on track or if they're going to need some support to improve their amount of goals that they're doing and make sure they're going in the right direction. Okay, the other thing is time management. You don't want to waste the time of the club that you visit or the officers of the club. So remember that time is very important. So we don't want to waste their time. So make sure that you have something positive to bring them. Okay, next slide. Okay, here we go. Assist clubs in entering their goals on Rotary Club Central. So one of the Learning Center sessions is how to operate Rotary Club Central. So if you're not too familiar with Rotary Club Central, you will be because we want you to help and monitor the goals of those clubs that you have on Rotary Club Central. So again, this is fairly new, okay, the last couple of years. So some of us old timers aren't too familiar with Rotary Club Central. So I've been searching through it a little bit myself. And it's going to be very useful. What is good too is you're able to track not only the progress of the clubs this year, but you compare it with the progress in previous years too. Encourage club presidents in your area to form a president's council with neighboring clubs to collaborate and partner. See if you can meet once a month. And one of the problems is there's so many small clubs that a club by itself can't really make a large impact. So if you collaborate and partner with other clubs in your district, in your AG areas, you could make a bigger impact on the community and become better known in the community as to the organization that provides service. So I know that the Coachella Valley has their president's council that Laura Ahmed has been presiding over for the last, year or two. So Laura, can you tell us a little bit about how your Rotary President's Council works, what kind of attendance you get, how do you encourage the presidents to be on the President's Council, and I think you also invite the president-elects, which is a good way to keep the president-elects informed on what's going on with the neighboring clubs and opportunity to partner with them once they become the president also. So Laura, are you there? Did we lose Laura?
No,
she's muted.
Laura, unmute yourself.
I'm trying. There we go.
Oh, there you
Thank
go. I see half of you.
Thank you. I really should sit on a pillow, you know.
You only have half the hair that you used to have. I could say the same.
The Coachella Valley presidents have been meeting, basically started 2007, fell apart a little bit, and then Ricardo put it back together again. And we've been meeting since then. It's very valuable because we get to share ideas. Not only do we share ideas, we share problems, and it's kind of like a problem-solving kind of committee. And we pick other ideas off of each other. So it's really a very, very valuable experience. Sometime about January, we begin to invite the president-elects. And then they become and get interested in what we're doing, and that's been very successful also. We also encourage people, if your president or your president-elect can't attend, anybody is welcome, because we want that participation in the valley. So I was the note taker for many years. And what I did was I took notes and sent it out to everyone so they had the ability to see what was going on if they weren't able to participate. So anybody that's interested in starting something or would like to have an idea of how to run it, you know, just send me an email or give me a call, text me, and I'll be happy to guide anyone.
Is Palm Springs and Palm Springs Sun Up on that President's Council, or do they have their own?
Yes, it was Palm Springs, the Palm Springs Club. There were 3 at the time. Now there's 2. The Cathedral City participates, Cathedral City Evening doesn't. So we do have some, Rancho Mirage always participated, La Quinta. So we had some gaps. Not everyone participated, but they did get the information via email.
Very good.
When our president didn't go, we always sent a representative, and that worked just as well, because if you send somebody that knows what's going on, they can respond back.
Yeah, this idea of a President's Council is very important, and it has to be nourished too, because as Laura mentioned, it has a tendency to wax and wane throughout the year. So you have to really cultivate it and keep it interesting. I like that idea of informing the clubs that weren't there as to what happened. Keep them up to date also. So thank you, Laura, for all your efforts on that.
Oh, I'd like to just say one more thing.
Sure.
We also did, as a Coachella Valley, back in 2007, we did a Coachella Valley event. So that was bringing all the clubs together. So that was another positive thing that people should consider.
Yeah, I know someplace in the early 2000s with many clubs in the Coachella Valley collaborating, they did a large project on either refurbishing or putting a new kitchen in one of the, I want to say rescue center. I'm not really too sure what the name of the organization was, but it was
I think it was
that,
Safe House of the Desert.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a large enough project that 1 or 2 clubs couldn't do it on their own. So they all got together and made it happen. So this could happen in all the AG areas. Also, Nyron, what's the status in the Riverside area as far as the President's Council?
They have had an ongoing meetings with the President's Council. I think the one person who has not, the one club that has not as yet participated strongly is Sin Fronteras, but we're working to try to get them more involved.
Yeah, good. So who heads the President's Council in your area?
Well, it's I mean, they've been meeting with Matt and Yundra and Becky, and all collaborating kind of collectively on that.
Okay. Good. And then San Bernardino, I know they used to have a President's Council. I don't know if they still do or not. I noticed Ben Hartnell is not on today. So does anybody know about the San Bernardino clubs? If they,
I'm actually on, but I
Ben,
don't know the answer to that.
Oh. Ben, can you unmute yourself?
Yeah, I said I'm actually on the call, but I'm not sure. I will look into that though.
Oh, okay. Yeah, talk to Mansour because they used to be very active. And again, as Laura said, sometimes these President's Councils kind of disappear, but I think it's time to put some effort into getting them reorganized so that the projects, service projects could be making a bigger impact on the community, and the community will learn more about what Rotary is all about. So thank you. Good. And then I know the Rialto Fontana area, do they have a President's Council, Barry?
Right now, I think Randall from Fontana is getting with Kat from Bloomington or from Rialto, and also Colton. I think they're trying to collaborate to do some events together. But the three of them are talking.
Very good. Yeah, and then Lake Elsinore and Paris, what's the status on that, Mark? Do you know? I think Mary Brown used to be pretty active with those presidents.
I don't have Lake Elsinore. I have the Menifee and the clubs around here in Paris. We've never been able to get anybody to cooperate. It's hard enough just to get them to go to their own meetings, let alone have a council. You know, it's just, I don't know why it is, but we've never been. I mean, it started back when Barbara was AG. She tried to get the council going together, and it's never been successful.
Oh. Do you know what Mary Brown had as far as the President's Council? Alex, do you know?
Well, I'll talk to Mary about it. I'm not completely sure, but typically we do work with Wildemar and Marietta a lot. So I'll talk to her, see what we could do. I would like to have something in the Southwest County where it's Elsinore, Corona, Marietta, and even the Temecula clubs, you know, so that way we have everything down the 15 corridor.
Right. Yeah, so I don't know what Matt Smith has planned for the Temecula area. So yeah, coordinate with him and coordinate with Mary, see what happened in the past, and we just gotta turn up the fire into the burner and keep those president councils going and productive.
It might be even easier now with Zoom, so there's not the travel time and all of that. So maybe it's a better time to try to start it up, you know?
Exactly. This is perfect for Zoom. Even when we start meeting face to face, probably the President's Council would be good to remain on Zoom. So
I agree.
Yeah, so that's good.
Rich,
Mary, go ahead.
It's Betty Folsom.
Yes.
I tried last year and we got a week start with it and it didn't really last, but my president of Harupa Club, Tyler, he went with Sin Fronteras to the desert last week to deliver a bunch of food. So, you know, we're a suburb of Riverside, and so the Riverside clubs are something that Tyler he's very interested in what other clubs are doing. So we may get something going more this year.
Yeah, because Sin Fronteras, they do a lot, but they do it all on their own. But maybe they would like some help from other clubs to help what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they could be more part of the Rotary world instead of just operating within their club.
I see.
Yeah, because they do a lot of work here in the east part of the Coachella Valley. That was my understanding, anyhow. Well, good. So anyhow, President's Council, very, very important. Hopefully we'll get a little revitalization in that concept. Okay, so how about the next slide? Okay, assist club leaders planning for the district governor's official visit and board meeting. So that's gotten a little bit easier with Zoom. When we were doing face-to-face, sometimes it was problematic. People changing their meeting venues and not letting the governor or AG know. So anyhow, when we do face-to-face, this is going to be a little more important. But anyhow, even on Zoom, contact the club president, confirm at least the time and availability of the club board members, because president's official, or the governor's official visit also includes attending a board meeting. So might be good to talk about some club issues prior to the district governor's visit, and any awards or inductions or any other thing they might want the district governor to be involved with. So it's attend both meetings. So that means a regular meeting and a board meeting. Okay, next slide. Since the governor will contact club presidents at least monthly, okay, attend at least one board meeting per club each quarter. So again, do it by invitation. Okay, we don't want you just to show up at a board meeting without any invitation to the board meeting or even to the club meeting too. So contact club presidents at least monthly. So this could be done online just to see how they're doing. And then hopefully you could attend at least one club meeting each quarter and one board meeting each quarter. So we have to be real careful that we're not stormtroopers bringing the district on the clubs, but we want to make sure that we have willingness from the clubs for the AGs to visit, and also willingness for the club, for the AGs to give some opinions or give some direction as to where they might find some answers to help improve their club. So report potential club problems to the executive AG. Okay, so this will come up on the evaluation of the clubs. And they provide extra assistance and resources to struggling clubs. So again, resources will be our district staff, okay, our district avenue of service chairs. We have the RI Learning Center. These are all areas where we have a lot of resources that sometimes will be very helpful. And the list of courses on the Learning Center is really extensive, and it will probably cover just about any problem that the clubs might have. So again, the clubs have to be willing to improve themselves. They have to be willing to learn. They have to understand that an active club will be a club that's attractive to gain new members and also to retain their existing members. Okay. Next slide, please. Okay, here Barry talked a little bit about the AG dinner / Zoom. So these are the dates. August the 13th, just a couple weeks away. Barry might, I don't know if he has any ideas of changing some of those dates or not, but these were the dates that were in the district directory. So August the 13th, November the 5th, February the 18th next year, and May the 6th next year. So this is a good time for the AGs to get together, talk about some of the problems they've encountered, hear about some of the possible solutions to those problems. So very, very important for AGs. Visit each club quarterly and submit a minimum of 3 interim club evaluation reports by the due dates to the DG and executive AG. And there's a memo of club visits by May the 15th. Kind of the final reports, and rate the clubs on Rotary Club Central.
Rich?
Yeah.
Rich, 2 things. One is all these slides are going to be available on DACDB.
Actually, this information was sent to all the AGs as an attachment. Butch probably sent that a week or 2 ago.
Okay, that's
yeah.
I'll have to look at that and see if that's the one.
Yeah, they're
okay.
They're in a slightly different format than these slides are, but all these points are listed on them.
Okay, I'll look at that because I got all those and printed them out.
Yeah.
The second,
if for some
issue.
Reason, yeah, if for some reason you don't, let me know.
All right, thanks, Rich. The second issue is I've already seen in the last 6 months that certain meetings are actually better on Zoom. I think it'd be valuable to us to have everybody get together and say what's working. Because if you have a meeting that has to be everybody has to travel a long ways, and you're all using less than 10 people in that meeting, they actually work better on Zoom.
Yeah, and I think this district AG dinner / Zoom would probably be one of those that is better on Zoom. One thing, when you have a dinner, you kind of get carried away and maybe lose focus on what you really should be doing at that meeting. So we'll let Barry decide that, but I'm sure at least the August one will be on Zoom, because there's not too many places that are open now. So,
Rich, Can I ask something? Do
Yeah.
we have, it's, if you don't buy Zoom, it's pretty limited on what you can do. If you have the free version, you can only meet for 40 minutes.
Okay.
Is there a district provided Zoom something, a number that we can use to create Zoom meetings?
Barry, can you address that question?
Yeah, there's a Zoom discount. I think a Zoom account for 100 is about $100. I'm reluctant to turn over the district Zoom account because conflicting members and the administration of it. Jamie and I were sharing a Zoom account at one point. It became a real problem. So I had to get my own. So, but there are clubs that are meeting on the free Zoom, and I was on a club meeting, and it was on a free Zoom, and she said at 40 minutes it's going to turn us off. Everybody log back in, and they just got picked up and kept right on going.
I mean, just to be fair, Zoom is only, I believe, $15 a month, and Rotary does have a discount code of, I think if you just type in Rotary as a discount code, it gives it to you, and it's month to month, meaning once you guys start meeting back up, in person, then you could just cancel your Zoom account. I mean, that would be what I would do.
That's a good idea.
And the code is Rotary Zoom, all caps, and that's the code for the discount. And while I'm talking, the 8/13 meeting, it will be on Zoom. I'll send everybody the link for the AG dinner. The first one will be on Zoom.
Very good. Okay. We're making progress with up-to-date information. That's wonderful. Okay, next slide. Oh, go ahead.
With a different group, we had a window where we had able to have a meeting for people who wanted to meet in person, and we had a Zoom hooked onto it. And by setting it up so that you got a picture of everybody that was there, it worked out beautifully. Right. It was a great program. So when we get into a point of view where we might be able to have half the people there and other Zooms on top of it, it was an interesting thing, and I'd be glad to share that with anybody.
Yeah, that's a good point, Dennis. Our club, we had our in and out dinner. We had a face-to-face dinner, but we also had Zoom set up so the people that were a little nervous about meeting face-to-face, they were able to join us on Zoom. So the hybrid face-to-face / Zoom seems to work well too. So that kind of keeps everybody in the loop and nobody feels like they've been left out for whatever reason. So good point, Dennis. Okay, attend district functions, the seminars, we already talked a little bit about that, AG training, so here you are, and district conference. So again, that's the cruise. At club meetings, announce and encourage attendance to these functions, as well as the RI convention. So again, hopefully the clubs will put their AGs on their Zoom list for a Zoom link so that the AG could tune into the Zoom club meeting whenever they can. Here's something that's important too. Meet with your successor to review each club and transfer your files for each club. So that probably doesn't happen too often. So let's try to do that so that the incoming AG is perfectly familiar with some of the successes or failures of the club in the past, so that they'll kind of know what to work on or where to keep their nose out of. We had a very unfortunate year last year with the passing of Melanie, and on top of that, the passing of our executive AG, Thomas Smith. So I think sometimes the problems on continuity were evident, and so it's time to kind of reach down deep and bring this AG role back to the point where it really should be. So we had terrific AGs last year. We have some of them joining us today, Laura and Betty and Cal Bootby. So Mary Town, they're all very familiar with the duties and responsibilities of AGs. So we have 10 new AGs. So that's 2/3 of the AG group that are brand new. So again, if they have questions about their AG duties and responsibilities, first step is to talk to Butch. So he's your boss. Okay, next. Okay, be positive. Okay, be proactive and supportive. So when it does come time to do face-to-face meetings and go into the meeting, make sure you kind of shake everybody's hand or give them an elbow bump or whatever the
Rich?
Yes.
It's Betty Folsom. I'd like to remind everybody we have a brand new club in Eastvale called the Greater Eastvale Rotary Club, and they are on fire.
That's great.
And they're in Rotary Club Central already, and they're excited.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah, I saw they're also on Rotary Direct too, as far as.
Good. She's working hard.
Then yeah, I took a peek at their memberships, and some of them are from the old Norco Club. So they have a nucleus of past Rotarians that know Rotary. So that's one of the problems with some of these brand new clubs. They sprout up and they don't have any support from past Rotarians. And I think in the past 10 years, every new club except for the New Gen Club has kind of gone by the wayside. So it's very important to support those new clubs. So fortunately, the Greater Eastvale Club has veteran Rotarians in it already, but they'll need help too. So got to keep supporting them so that they're going to stay around like the New Gen Club did.
I'd like to make an announcement.
Yes.
Okay. Probably by the end of next week, we will have a number for a new global grant for Project Peanut Butter. And this one will be the second half of the one we cut in half last year.
Okay.
And it will be in Ivory Coast. And the second one is that we've made the cut for the last, for the new scale grant with Project Peanut Butter. And we are now putting together that large grant, and that has to be in by September 9th, answering the questions from their review of it. And that's $1 million grant.
Oh,
so multiple year. So we're working hard on that. Just an announcement.
Dennis, let me jump in there, Dennis. On the directory or the newsletter each month now, I've asked Richard Lemire to put a section in there that allows clubs to list their projects, up to 2 projects that they're looking for funding for global DDF. So that stuff you can submit up to 2 each month to Richard to put in the newsletter, and it's not going to carry over. So every month you have to put in 1 or 2, or renew it. So if you
as soon as I get a global grant number, the large scale grant won't be available for individual clubs. That one you have to have a large money, and so right now that's a brand new grant. So that grant will be $1 million from RI. $1 million from the country, Sierra Leone, $1 million from the a billionaire out of London.
Yeah,
that's.
But you could put an article or something in there about that to keep people informed what you're doing. So,
yeah.
So anyway, before you move on, Rich, let me make a couple mentions about clubs. As you know, we have 2 clubs that are in trouble, and that would be Forest Falls and Desert Hot Springs Viola de Cucella. They have fallen below the minimum membership of 5, and they're actually 1 and 2 members, is what I can tell. I have instructed Rotary International to start the process to pull those charters. They had chartered during Ricardo's year at 20, 24 members each one, and that was a big loss last year in Melanie's year with those members. So that's being done. That will affect Marytown,
Yes.
one of your clubs, and it'll affect Cal, one of your clubs. Laura, I'm sorry, it'll affect Laura with the Desert Hot Springs Club and Cal with Forest Falls. Laura and I have been talking. Yucca Valley has fallen below the 5 number. They're down to 4 members. I had met with them last year. I have talked to Jim about what their intentions are, whether to merge with one of the other clubs out there or to correct the problem. I have a club visit with him next month, and we will discuss what we're doing. If they don't have a solution, I will then get a hold of Rotary International and ask them to start the process to pull that charter. I'm trying to get rid of these clubs that are in trouble. We don't need clubs 1 or 2. 6 is the number. If you fall below 5, Rotary gives us the option to start the process to pull those charters. So I just keep you guys up to date what's going on. Next week, I have 4 club visits. Alex, you have one on Monday with Murrieta. Ben, you have one on Tuesday with San Bernardino. And Naira, you have one on Wednesday and Friday, Riverside East and Riverside Sunrise. So
that is correct.
Everybody should have been copied on all the correspondence going back and forth. If you don't get the links, I think the only one I don't have a link for is Riverside Sunrise on Friday. The rest of the links I think have been sent out. So I hope you guys can fit that in your schedule to join us for that club visit. Okay, Rich, I just want to bring them up to date on that before we change the subject.
Okay, very good.
Thank you.
Hey, Rich, before you move on, Barry, I just want to double check. You said that the club that was, the second club that was being recommended was Desert Hot Springs. Is that accurate?
Desert Hot Springs Valley de Cucella. That's the Hispanic club that Ricardo started.
Oh.
They
Okay,
started,
all right.
They started with 24 members. They're down to 2.
Okay.
And each of those clubs that I'm talking to, I have contacted them 3 or 4 months, about 3 months ago, and told them that we needed to address the situation and correct these issues. They have been talked with. And so far, none of them have done anything to correct the problem. So that's when I instructed Rotary International to start the process. Okay,
right, thank you.
Okay, how to evaluate your clubs. We'll go over the AG evaluation report starting with the next slide. So one for each one of your clubs, and go online through Rotary International Manage, Rotary Club Central to rate your clubs. I got these instructions from a previous executive AG that I had the solution to get these. So anyhow, Don Casper checked that out to see if it actually was true, and if it works, then it does. So my problem is I'm not an AG, so I don't have access to rating your clubs on Rotary Club Central. So this thing.
It actually works, Rich.
Yeah, thank you, Mary. So we got 10 new AGs, so it works. So follow the instructions. So click on Club View, rate your club, click Club Viewer evaluate and give a number of stars that reflect the club's performance. Scroll down, you'll see a box for comments. Fill in the notes that will show the DG and executive AG where this club may need help. Okay, next slide. Okay, print a copy of your evaluation before you go to the next club evaluation. Keep a file on each one for reference. And these evaluations are only seen by the DG, DGE, and executive AG. The good news too is that Butch is going to be Dan's executive AG, so we got some good continuity built in here.
Yeah, Rich, can I jump in there?
Sure.
We have one of the AGs that has already started. You mentioned Don, and thank you, Don. He's visited 3 of his clubs already and sent the evaluations. I'd like you to, the rest of the AGs, to start thinking about that and make sure that they send me a copy of the evaluation. I will keep a file on each of the clubs. So we'll have that as a reference for the rest of this year and then into next year too. So we can also pass that information on to the new AGs as they come on.
Yeah, no, this is very, very important for continuity. So I'm glad we got some action going already. So this is your opportunity to track improvements in each club and help your clubs be the best. So this is an important role for the AGs to get those clubs to be better than they are. Okay, so the AG report again, Butch sent this out as an attachment so you could print them out and just put the date of the report, in person or Zoom, club name, and then the number of club members. So this is something you keep track of each time you fill out one of these reports to see if the club members number is going up or down. If it's going up, that's great. If it's going down, we need some help. Number of people attending the meeting. So of course, there's no attendance requirement officially anymore that anybody keeps track of, but it's a good thermometer as to how attractive the club is. If the club has 50 members and only 15 show up for a meeting, that's not a good sign. So you'll know the club is lacking in attracting and attending members. So youth protection affidavit. So this is still in the process. So if they have a youth activity, they should have their youth protection affidavit turned into Matthew Smith. You can find out from Matthew Smith if that's really true or not. Last time the bylaws have been updated. So a lot of the problems, at least during the period of time I was in the role of district governor, a lot of the problems in the clubs had to do with not following the bylaws. So everything might go fine year after year, and the club has a tendency to morph into what they do. So make sure that the bylaws reflect what the club is doing currently. So that's why they have to be updated. So every 1 or 2 years they should be updated. So arguments come in when the club starts to do things that aren't in the bylaws, and then we have a battle royal going on. So I think the AGs should try not to get involved in club squabbles. So if it's a club problem, we don't want it to become a district problem. So one of the ways to keep the club squabbles at a minimum is to have them update their bylaws and have them operate according to their bylaws. Make sure their president nominee is elected before the beginning of January. So that'll be more of an important question to ask around November and December. This is very important. The number of club members on My Rotary. The district itself, the total number of members that the district have, only 45 are on My Rotary. 55 of the members are not registered on My Rotary. So My Rotary is a wealth of information for Rotarians. If they're not on My Rotary, they're not going to have access to a lot of the information they should have as Rotarians, including the Learning Center. So this you could find, if the club president doesn't know this, you could look it up on My Rotary, go to Club and District Administration and go to Reports, and it'll say Club Reports. And one of the reports is the status of club members that are active on My Rotary. So see if that number increases as your Rotary year goes on. If not, you might want to have the club president himself go to that report. so that he will know which of his club members are not on my Rotary, then he can encourage them to go on my Rotary. So to me, this is important. Then how would you rate the club's meeting venue? So now with Zoom, that's probably not a big important question, but hopefully in the next couple of months it will be. Did they have a program during your visit? So a lot of the attractiveness of the club is having interesting programs. So see what they're doing as far as programs are concerned. Next. And we're given time to make announcements. So make sure that if you are going to be on their meeting, make sure that the president knows that you'll be there so that he can make time, he or she can make time in their agenda for you to make announcements. And then describe how you're received as an AG. So where you're put in the corner and not allowed to make any announcements. Again, I think it's a good idea if you were to go around and greet each member so that they know that you are the AG. No, a lot of clubs don't even know who their AG is. So a little tougher with Zoom, but we want you to at least be acknowledged and acknowledge the club members. And remember, when you're there as an AG, you're actually there as the district governor. So you don't have to ride a motorcycle to the meetings, but we want to know how you were received. And then, is there anything that concerns you about this club? Okay, so that's really important to note on the evaluation report. And what do you perceive as the club's weakness? Is the club working to correct this weakness? Okay, so that's the salient point. If they have a weakness, are they familiar with it as well as you? Or maybe they don't even know they have this weakness and they don't recognize the weakness, so they don't know where to go to help them out to correct this weakness. Next. What do you think are the club strengths? Did the club have a club assembly in this quarter? Okay, so this is sometimes a mystery to some of the clubs. They don't know what a club assembly is. So find out. And then have district and club events been announced? This has several flavors. They could just tell their club members what the dates are, but really don't say too much about what the event is, or maybe they don't show any excitement about attending the event. So not only do the events should be announced, but they should be announced with enthusiasm and a little information. Membership development discussed, and service projects discussed. Next. Does the club have a website? I know this is important. Bob Dystemar is a great resource for this, and he's been hammering this for the last couple of years. Some of our new members that we just recently acquired in our club came there because of what they saw on our club website. So the club is very important to have a interesting website and up-to-date website. So it's a good attractor for new members. Club have a newsletter, so you know they can have it monthly or whatever to keep their members informed, especially if they're not attending. So got to make it exciting for those members so that they show up to the meeting. Club have a printed brochure. Okay, this is good for handing out to the general public when you have a chance. Was there a fellowship but before or after the meeting? A little more difficult when you're doing Zoom. What we do on our Zoom meetings, our regular meeting starts at 7:30, but we encourage our members to log on to Zoom at 7:20 so that we have at least 10 minutes to greet each other. Did the president ask you for district assistance? So this is important that they recognize what assistance they need and they can ask you for it. You may not want any assistance either. So You can't really hit them over the head, but maybe if they don't realize what one of their weaknesses is, you could diplomatically tell them that there are references and learning center sites available that they might want to access to help bring their club from good to great. And name of club members to be considered for district staff positions. So this is important too for incoming district governors who are not familiar with all members of clubs, and they would be interested in finding out who the club members are that are really interested in Rotary and would like to serve beyond the level of the club. Yeah. So interim reports by September 15th, December 15th, March 15th, memo of club visits due by May 15th to Senator Berry and our executive AG Bush. So he's beginning to collect those already. Okay, so we have any questions or anything? Anything to kind of clarify what we've been going over? So everybody get familiar with the Rotary Learning Center and also Rotary Club Central.
Rich?
Yes.
This is the charter for the Greater Eastvale Club.
Okay.
Here it's signed. I have talked to them. Betty, this is falling into your group of clubs, and they would like to wait until they can have an in-person meeting for me to present their charter to them. But it's in my possession. It's done. It's printed. It's ready to go.
Awesome.
Thank you for the meeting, and
Yeah, Rich.
I'll see you next time.
Okay,
Wait.
so
The rest of the AGs, all the information Rich gave you, I sent to you all last week. You should all have it verbatim. You just have to print it out. The only one I wouldn't recommend printing is the book that came from Rotary International. It's a little dated. If you want to print it, it's good information, but it's about 26 pages. But the rest of it are 2 or 3 sheets, and it's all good information, and it's everything, the stuff that you really need, the stuff Rich went over.
right, very good.
Rich, I got a clarification on that. You mentioned that the New Gen Club, Temecula New Gen, was one of the ones that's been able to survive. There is one other one that started in June of 2016.
Oh.
The E-Club of World Peace, which is now up to, I think, 58.
I was talking about real clubs.
Does that mean we don't have to pay dues?
You can bring that one up. All right.
Rich, I need to ask a question.
Yes, Mark.
The evaluation for the clubs, I don't know who created the form, but it would really help us people that forgot how to write, that if we could make these forms fillable, because it's really hard to fill in these things with, we forget how to write. I can't write anymore.
I modified that form on Word, but I don't know how to make it writable.
We should have somebody in the district that would be able to do this.
Yeah.
More
Anybody
checkbox answers.
Say that again, Betty.
More checkbox answers instead of requiring dialogue.
Did the evaluation form come off of Rotary Club Central?
Did it?
I'm asking.
Oh, I don't know.
No.
So somebody in the district must have a way to turn a PDF into a writable PDF. So.
I'm asking, Rich, did your evaluation form come off of Rotary Club Central?
No.
You created it yourself?
It's a modification of one that has been used in the past. I just added a few things to it.
Because in Rotary Club Central, there's actually an evaluation for visits, right?
Right.
So that's actually fillable.
Yeah, does it ask some of the same questions, like what percentage are of my Rotary and things like that?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Let me, Mark, let me take a look at the form and see if I've got a PDF converter and see if I can do something with it.
Oh, okay.
I'll play with it and
That would be wonderful.
Yeah, I'll put it and get it to Butch, and then Butch can get it out to you guys.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah, that'll bring us into the new age. That's good, Mary. Thank you. Okay, any more questions?
Not a question, but one other thing. I got a email from Mary Brown the other day letting me know that the community block grants are run from July 1st to August 31st. They're coming up real fast.
Right.
If you have clubs that need to do something with that, they need to start working on it. And I will send this email to all of the AGs this week. I'm not at home with my computer. I'm on my iPad right now, but I'll get it out to you so you can take a look at it, and maybe you can get with your presidents if they've got some grant work they want to do, community grants. They need to start working on it right away.
Good.
Just one last comment. There's actually a president-elect meeting coming on August 8th, and Butch has, I'm sure, reached out to some of you already about getting your contact information. I hope for your club's president-elects. We are missing 7 clubs that do not have a president-elect as of yet. And from Rich's presentation, we were supposed to have that person in place by January 1 or December 31st. Communication has always been a problem in this district. I've asked numerous times, how do you want us to communicate? Because we don't open emails, very rarely. We decided that as a group at Barry's house, we were going to start a closed Facebook group so that everybody could communicate just in an inner circle. Problem with that is I created the groups. Now everybody has to be a friend of mine on Facebook. And some people don't use Facebook. So I'm still a little lost in the communication thing. So as you reach out to your clubs and visit them, I would appreciate if you make sure that that information gets back to Butch as well. And
do you want to say which clubs you need the PEs for?
Sure.
I'm looking for it too right now.
While they're looking, I'd like to say something, please, about the form. Excuse me. I think some of it needs to be fillable because sometimes you want to make a comment about something or an explanation. And in order to understand what you're evaluating, sometimes you need that explanation. So please keep that in mind.
I'm going to make a comment as an AG from last year with Thomas in Rotary Club Central, where we were doing all the fillable reports. All that information you were able to put into notes. And so last year we didn't file any paper. It was all filed online.
That's right.
That's why I asked about Rotary Club Central, but
Dan, you muted yourself. I don't know if you were still wanting to be talking.
okay, sorry. I don't know what, I thought if you held down the space bar, you were good. So can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Greater Eastvale, Highland, La Quinta, Moreno Valley Morning, Norco Eastvale, Old Town Temecula, Palm Desert Sunset, Palm Desert, Palm to Pines.
And did you say Colton?
Nope, I did not say Colton.
I believe they need one too.
Well,
Okay, so the 2 other Palm Desert clubs. All right, I'll get on that.
Good.
I'd like to say something again. Sorry. Some of these, Barry and I spent, I don't know, probably 15 emails between us to try to get hold of the president of the Moreno Valley Morning Club. And I assume, Barry, she finally got back to you because you rescheduled your visit?
Yeah, we moved them off. They're not meeting right now. So she asked if we can move them off. So I think we slid them down to October. I think we found the date in September.
So they're not even doing Zoom meetings?
No, they're not doing anything.
That's dangerous.
Is that Abraham's Club?
Yeah, I believe it is. I don't believe Abraham's a member anymore. I think there's an issue with Abraham at the club. And so I'm not sure if he's even a Rotarian anymore.
Yeah, I reached out to Charles James. He's always been very dependable, and I got no reply from him, just asking, you know, what was going on.
Yeah, I talked to James the other day, and that's where I got the information. When I don't think I've even talked to Elena. I talked to James, and he talked to Elena, and so we moved him down to looks like about sometime in October, between the 8th and the 13th. I didn't put the new date down yet, but yeah. So, and he's the one that told me that he thinks Abraham's left the club. Abraham's involved with Rotaract, and we've Jackie, my daughter, who's heading up the Rotaract this year, has reached out to Abraham a few times, and he just seems to have disappeared off the planet right now. So he's not responding to anybody.
Okay.
That's too bad.
Okay, that looks like